Do not be afraid. I am the cure.
I work with two of the worst people on the face of the earth. They're so disgusting, so maniacal, so absolutely vile and fucking crazy that I'm going to kidnap their children and torture them for what will feel like an eternity. What I'm doing is not evil. I've known David and Rebecca for a number of years, and they deserve what's coming to them. They have taken what was to be the great economic resurgence of the 21st century, and they want to use it to gain the most profit for themselves. There is a real chance, a real chance, that they might be the richest people on the face of the planet in the near future. If I don't show them the error of their thinking now, they might be so powerful, no one might ever get another chance. What do we sell that could possibly make Rebecca and David worth more than $1 trillion? We sell a service that every suitable working man and woman is going to want to use. What if I were to tell you that someone in the next 5 years is going to offer you a product that will do for you one of two things? Number one, double the output of your current productivity, no matter what field you work in, essentially doubling your current income. Or two, guarantee that after you've put in 15 to 20 years of work, you will enter an infinite heaven of pleasure and every delight you could ever imagine. If this product worked, like really worked, would you buy it? On one hand, it pays for itself by doubling your paycheck, and on the other, you're buying a ticket to heaven. But not make-believe, the real deal. And how do we offer this? Suspend your belief for just a moment, and let me tell you about a future that is already here. AI is not going to happen. It's just too complicated, and we've never been able to figure it out. We've built the hardware to support a thinking machine, but we have no idea how to actually make one. Instead, we've been working on a project to copy a human mind onto a machine. There's a good chance you just stopped believing me. And even if you haven't, you're probably laughing about the practicality of the idea. It's not ridiculous. Imagine all the tasks you can complete working at a computer. Think about your average workday. Is it not mostly done by interacting with a computer? What we offer is the chance to create a second you. A version of you that will exist inside a machine and work from a virtual office, live in a virtual home, but have all the access to information and entertainment as you do now. This version has no need for money, so the economic benefits of his or her work will go directly to you. He or she will work for 15 or 20 years, and then they will be moved into a digital heaven, where they will experience every pleasure imaginable. Okay, I suppose some of you may have some moral qualm with this service, but for every person that looks at this and thinks it's sick, there's another one of you that isn't disgusted by anything I've said. There's going to be a large number of people that want this service. This technology will fundamentally change the world. In a matter of years, we will be able to increase our workforce by 1.5 times. and all the while skipping the steps of human development. Meaning, to produce an educated, skilled worker won't take 22 years, a college education, and a nurturing family. It will take a few $1,000s and a little over a day in time. I've fought long and hard for this project to make it a practical reality, and I've fought Rebecca and David nearly every step of the way. At first, Rebecca and David truly thought our service as slavery, and they were totally okay with that. They formulated a business model where someone pays us to make a digital copy of themselves. And then they force that digital copy to work endlessly until they break from exhaustion and are deleted. It took a long time, but I convinced Rebecca and David that this just wasn't a suitable way to sell our service. I tried to explain that you couldn't just kill someone because they exist in a computer, but Rebecca and David never bought that argument. The only way I could get them to treat the digital self as a real human being was to frame their way of thinking as harmful to our business model. This isn't entirely inaccurate either. There is a fundamental problem to our business, and that is, you need the digital mind to be willing to play ball. You see, when you sign up to use our product, there is no guarantee that when you wake up from the copy process, that you will be a digital mind in a digital office, or that you will wake up in our lab chair. I believe that our product needs to be compelling for both the digital mind and for the original copy, so that no matter where you wake up, you'll be okay with your position. Hence the idea for a digital heaven. I built that environment so that the digital copies would be happy to work for the original selves that signed up for our service. I fought Rebecca and David to make that digital heaven. It's almost like they would prefer to be heartless if it wasn't their monetary interest to create a suitable environment for the digital mind. Somehow, they still managed to show their cruelty, but did so while creating a system to make themselves endlessly rich. They've made it impossible for me to go to anyone higher up and inform them of what's going on. But what they've done is built a back door into the heaven I built. They've made it so when a client buys our service and creates a digital copy of themselves, a second digital copy is made in secret. While the first copy works for our client and secures their place in digital heaven, the second copy will think they are the copy of the version of themselves in the real world, paid for. The second digital copy will work their 15 or 20 years, the entire time thinking that they will be going to heaven, but actually they will have just worked for the benefit of Rebecca and David. When it comes time for the first digital copy to move to heaven, the second one is simply deleted. This is why Rebecca and David are evil. They plan to enslave millions of our clients to turn them into indentured servants that are completely unaware they're slaves. They justify it the same way they justified arguing with me against building a digital heaven. They're not real. We can have them work and delete them, and no one, not even them or the other versions of them, will notice. They might be right, that no one, not even themselves, will be aware of their enslavement, but I can't live knowing I've helped in this atrocity. This week, we are running trials on copying over a younger mind. And Rebecca and David, being the horrible people they are, who don't consider a digital mind to be real, they've had no qualms signing up their children for the copy process at my encouragement. I'm going to copy the minds of David and Rebecca's children, and I'm going to hold on to those minds. I'm going to show Rebecca and David that they can think, feel and can't even differentiate themselves from their real-world counterparts. I'm going to make Rebecca and David talk to their children in a way that they won't ever be able to touch them. And I hope it changes their perspective. If Rebecca and David still aren't convinced that they need to rethink their stance on enslaving copies of our clients, I'm going to show them in even more detail that digital minds can feel. I built a digital heaven so that people that find themselves working in a digital environment can look forward to a true and fantastic heaven. I built it to supply every need, want, and desire, no matter how perverse or self-centered. I can create the opposite of that. I can create a digital hell. I can create a space where your every fear is looked at and brought to life. I can build a place where you can never sleep, where you are always hungry and thirsty, and where you can hear the outside world, but they can't hear you. I would hate to wake up in that space. But if Rebecca and David don't change their evil ways, that's exactly where their kids are going to end up.